shoot, did I do it again? Oh. All right, we're back at it with some more mods on the old Gladiator. Nothing too serious, just the stuff the average person can do, because I'm just kind of the average person. Right, so anyway, we're going to be throwing on some new struts to get that hood up. Yeah, finally getting around to the Factor 55 hook and fair lead, and some sweet lights. I don't know, they're just kind of generics. Then I got a set of Baufangs. Guess I need to make sure that I can talk on the trail, but I was really surprised. Ireland. I had no idea Baufang was an island. Is that true, or is they just like boxed from there, or what? I don't know. I'm going to do a little research. I just assumed they weren't from Ireland, you know. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And yeah, follow along and let me know what mods you're putting on your rig. Well, I think the first thing we're going to do is jump on the Ultra Hook by Factor 55. This just seems like the responsible thing to do. And not to say that I'm not completely irresponsible. I do have a fair lead on here. We've got the come-up winch and the soft shackle. But, you know, if you've got an Ultra Hook, why wouldn't you have an Ultra Hook on there? But I want to give a big shout out to my new buddy, Rob Spencer. You guys might know him. We've both been on the trail for years, and we finally met in person in Little O'Kanab at a film festival of all places. And he saw my Jeep and he gave me the thumbs up. I saw his rig, gave him a thumbs up, and then he walked out with his Factor 55 Ultra Hook. Now, we have had Ultra Hooks in the past. We've put them on our race rigs. We've been working with Justin, the guys at Factor 55 for a long time, and really appreciate their products. We were there at SEMA when they were releasing some of this cool stuff. So we've been good buddies with them for a long time, and I'm glad to finally get an Ultra Hook on the Gladiator. So anyway, I'm going to tackle that at this moment, and I don't know. Hopefully it looks better. Well, this is going to be a fairly easy process. Now, you will notice that come-up's upside down on this, and I would say that there's a rhyme or reason to that, but in reality, when I put this on, I think I was just standing upside down, and it seemed right at the time. So I made up a story that if you can read that, that's the time to use it. Of course, the thing that takes the longest for me on any one of these projects is just finding the right tool. I don't know how many the rest of you have to go through every socket in the socket kit to get the right one, because you think it's one size, but it's not. I do this just enough to get myself in trouble, but not enough to really know what I'm doing. Got this soft shackle from my buddy at JM Rigging. Known him for a long time. He and I also share an interest in film. He's worked in film for a lot of times, doing a lot of rigging for some big movies. So we always have a lot to talk about. But anyway, this is one of his shackles. Been out in the sun a little while, but still holding strong. And look at that, the holes all line up. Shoot. Well, my goal is to always not to drop the nut. Here's where you start to find things different, and your 2-minute tutorial changes out. So the difference between these two fair leads is that the depth in there is enough that the stock bumper bolt fits in there without any problem. But because this Factor 55's got a little bit more aluminum, it's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit thicker overall. It's a little thicker overall. Therefore, you got a little bit more oomph of aluminum in this back that this stock bolt, by the time it goes through there, and then through there. So anyway, I'm gonna go find another bolt. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. I got a handful of new nuts and bolts. I think it'll work. Run the lead through. All right, we're gonna get creative again. Good thing I got a few more of those. If you do like that, you can keep your finger from slipping. Let's see if we can lose this pin. No! No, don't do it. That's a bad idea. Just get the right tool. Come on. As you can see, there's a nice little snap ring down in there. And if you get the right tool, now I buy my tools at Harbor Freight because I'm not a professional. I only use them once in a while. And they're cheap enough I can just afford to get a new one every time I need. So I found this little kit. The cool thing about this little kit that I got at Harbor Freight, not sponsored by any means, but this little, it was only like $8, and it came with like all these extra tips. So that was kind of a score. Anyway, that's beyond the point. Okay, so I'm going to get in here and hopefully figure out how to get this snap ring tool to work. And just like that, oh, easy peasy snap ring. And then that just slides right out. With the pin out, it's just as easy as taking your loop, slipping in your pin, and then we'll put the clip back in. All right, grab your handy dandy little tool, pinch your ring together, carefully slip it in, then let it go. Come on, let go, let go. Push it down in, make sure it clips inside the little ring, and voila, ultra hook. Well, shoot, did I do it again? Oh, it's upside down. All right, quick point of note about this ultra hook. How does it work? You just put stuff right through there, but they were smart enough. They've got this cute little pin. You push it out on this side, pulls it out. Once you've put your hook on whatever you're hooking it to, you take this cute little pin and slide it through so that that's not going anywhere. If you got a soft shackle, you can run it through that end, but that's going to keep that from coming apart. So it's a really simple design, but super heavy duty. I've seen them put this through the test. Yeah, it's not going to break unless you're like doing something super dumb. Anyway, you just store that back up here. It's got enough tension on there, it just stays. And that's your ultra hook. All right. Oh, that's better. Oh yeah, that's real nice. I could make that a little straighter. Come on. Make it look nice. Yeah. I think the next mod I need to do is a wireless for this. But yeah, I think that looks really nice on the front of there. Yeah. All right, so that's the Ultra Hook and fairly by factor 55. Let's move on to getting these hood struts in. All right, I hear these are about the hardest thing to figure out, but these should go in pretty easy. Let's find out. Oh, it's a 10. Took out that bolt, slipped that over the flange, and just tightened it back up. Easy peasy. All right, so that's the next part, where this little piece right here is going to slide into and pinch. And so I need to loosen up and remove just enough to get in here, and then that should be good. Now, for the record, this kit didn't come with any instructions. I'm just kind of guessing on this. I did watch one video, and he kind of struggled too, so I'm not feeling too bad. Spinning that, it kind of slides that around until I can get it kind of lined up. Yeah, if it doesn't go in very easy with the one screw off, swatch your screws and go the opposite direction. Good. Okay, and in order to get that one in, I'm gonna have to push up just a little bit on the hood till it kind of lines up. Come on. All right. Shoot, that was easy. Okay, let's come over and do the other side. Okay, so on the other side, what seemed to be good is taking the top one out, leaving the bottom one in with plenty of thread. All right, just finding that right level of looseness. Somehow that just got in without me really knowing what was going on. theoretically, nice. And if it really works right, it'll stay down while I latch it. All right, hood struts on. Now let's move over to getting these light mounts. I just recently grabbed this cool little mount kit from Nylite, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, kind of a fun little shape that just kind of fits right up here on your Gladiator. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get their name off of it though, because they're not sponsoring nothing. Little crack in the paint right there. Oh, I never noticed there are flip-flops on my Jeep. And there are flip-flops on my feet. All right, now that I've got the mounts for these lights put on, I think I'm gonna hold off on actually mounting the lights for a little bit as part of a different video, because that's gonna take a little bit more time than I have, and I really wanna play with these Baufangs. I don't know. Mount it there. Mount it up in there. All right, so I think I'm going to end this video with me just conundrum. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. Where do you think is a good place to put one of these radios in your rig? All right, weekend project mostly done. We got the hood struts on, we got the ultra hook put on, and we've got the mounts for our lights on. So we'll do lights another day, and I'm gonna have to figure out a mounting solution for the Baufang. Now I did find out that Baufang is not Irish, it is Chinese, but that's all right. It's gonna help us be able to communicate on the trail. Coming up next, maybe we're gonna find a mount for our new axe and hatchet, and hopefully get some lights on and a few other things. So anyway, that's what we're gonna be doing next here on the this Orange Gladiator. What are you working on? All right, that's it for me. Now remember, don't just live life, live epic. We'll see you next time.